In the dog days of summer, when governments traditionally and the CBC puts out news that they don't want you to hear, that's where you get the really good stuff. Jay Goldberg is with the Canadian Taxpayers Federation. He joins me in a minute. But before that, please donate, because unlike the CBC, we don't get paid big money. I don't get paid anything, but that guy needs to get paid. So please keep us on the air. Jay, welcome to the show. Well, just lay it out for us. I mean, it sounds like the CBC, a losing corporation as far as people watching or listening, are rewarding all those executives who are screwing up.
Yeah, we know that less than 3% of Canadians watch their supper time show. And we found out last month that they give out $18 million worth of bonuses to executives. And as you said before, over $70,000 on average to some of these fancy executives. The one we don't know definitely is the head of the CBC, Catherine Tate. She's paid about $500,000 a year. She is entitled to about $125,000 worth of bonuses according to her contract. We don't know exactly what her number is yet. We want to know.
And unlimited travel, I understand as well. She has a lot of travel back and forth to New York. But listen, you know, if you're an executive and you can't make shows or anything that people want, why would you get a bonus even of $7,000, much less $75,000? I look at it, I go, wow, many people don't earn $75,000.
Well, that's exactly it. You've got taxpayers who are struggling, who barely earn $70,000, some of them less, to find out that they're paying the bonuses of these folks who are running the CBC, which largely people are not watching. We know the viewership numbers are not good. We're spending $1.4 billion on the CBC every year. The Trudeau government keeps increasing the amount of money they're giving to their friends at the CBC. And yes, it's people who are struggling paycheck to paycheck that are paying for these fat cats to have big salaries and big bonuses to produce things that Canadians just don't want to watch, and that's certainly not giving us value for money. It's time for the CBC to go.
Well, or, I mean, there's been lots of discussion about it. People say, well, it should really cut back or just change its mandate. But no matter what happens to it, it's got to be put on a fiscal basis that's responsible.
Well, I think there's a fair question to say, though, how do you trust journalists that are fully paid by the government? You also have these media bailouts where a lot of other organizations, you have journalists with half of their salary that's actually paid for by taxpayers. You have one major political party saying we're going to scrap all this. You have the current government saying we're going to keep it. How do you trust the independence of those journalists who know in the back of their minds that their potential jobs and paychecks are on the line? How do you trust that neutrality? And so I just don't think you can have confidence in journalism when taxpayers are paying for part of the bill and when certain political parties are saying we're going to scrap that if we get into power.
Well, I think you make a very compelling argument. I do want to point out, though, that there are, I know you know as well, there are a few journalists that you read and write about who are saying, well, screw you, I'm going to be fair and open and honest. But they are very, very few and far between, aren't they?
They're few and far between, but you know what? The new media is really rising. People are open and trusting a lot more different media sources, and I think that's just going to continue in the future.
Trust this one. Thank you very much. 3 minutes. To those of you who have subscribed and donated, a heartfelt thank you. You're keeping us on the air. If you're watching and you haven't, please try to do so, because 4 years ago we started this show because there needed to be independent analysis. Now more than ever, with the Online Harms Act, once that gets into law, it's been passed once by the House, there are going to be hundreds of bureaucrats censoring the news in Canada, censoring this show. We need to keep it on the air. Thanks for your support.